Hello, everyone. So for my presentation, I have the article Old Age Iconography in Ancient Greek Art by Patricia Bitchler Emery. And this article discusses the representation of old age in ancient Greek art during the Archaic period, which was roughly from 700 to 480 BCE. Throughout the article, Emery analyzes various types of artistic representations of old age, including images of elderly men and women depicted in a range of media, such as sculptures, vase painting, and relief printing. She also examines the cultural context and social significance of these depictions, exploring how they reflect attitudes and ancient Greeks, how they reflect the attitudes of the ancient Greeks towards aging in the elderly. She discusses in the article five basically distinctive features that were used in archaic Greek art to indicate like the old age of mostly men. And these five were baldness, white beards and or white hair, wrinkles, posture of the bent body, and a walking stick or other physical traits. So to get started, the first one, baldness. She says that baldness is a common physical trait of older men in ancient Greece. Um, that like she also notes that like the depiction of baldness is in art was often used as a visual marker of age, and it was commonly associated with like wisdom and experience. She also points out that it was seen as a sign of like a physical decline and vulnerability in the ancient Greek society. And this is like particularly when combined with other physical features of old age that I'm going to get into, such as the wrinkles and the sagging skin. However, she also like she notes that like negative association was tempered by the cultural value placed on experience and wisdom, and like that's often associated with balder older men. And I don't know if that's kind of the same now in today's world, but I think the second one, which is the white beard slash white hair, is kind of still relatable in our society today. So she mentions that the white beard and the hair was a common physical feature of older men in ancient Greece, just like the baldness, and that the color white is associated with like the age and wisdom in ancient Greek culture, and like the presence of a white beard or hair was often used as like a visual marker of like experience and age. And I feel like that's kind of like the same in our society today. We still like kind of put like the stereotype of like having a white beard or white hair with like old and knowledgeable, and that's kind of like similar to what they did. Also in Greek art, it was also often depicted as like a symbol of honor and dignity, conveying a scene of like authority and respect. And like it was like uh it was like it's not it wasn't seen like you were seen as like you're not foolish, like you're aged, you're experienced. Um and so it was often a good thing and like a good way of portraying that somebody was getting up there in age. The next one was wrinkles, and Emery also says that it was a physical feature of older men and also women in ancient Greece, and that's the same today. Once we get older, our skin starts to still get wrinkly, and it was often so the wrinkles were often used as a visual marker of age experience in ancient Greece culture, as along with the other two, the baldness and the white and beard and white hair, and it also represented the wisdom and authority that came with advanced years. However, the depiction of wrinkles in ancient Greek art was not always positive. In some cases, wrinkles were exaggerated or just like really exaggerated, and this created a negative portrayal of older people. And this was kind of seen, I think she said, like as weak or foolish, and it was linked to like I'm pretty sure she had like cultural values placed on physical beauty and youth in ancient Greece, and how like once you got to that old age, you lost that value of physical beauty and youth. And this I think this she mentioned that it led to like the devaluation of the elderly and their physical appearance. I'm pretty sure she mentioned that. And so in some cases, wrinkles in ancient Greek art were good, and in some cases they were not seen as good. Um, with the bent body and stick, it was a common visual motif, Emery says, used to depict elderly figures in ancient Greek art. She notes that the bent body was used to represent physical decline and vulnerability, and the stick was often a symbol of support and stability. And I can see that. I feel like that's easy to see, and I feel like we still have that in art today. Uh, when we see an art depiction of an older person in today's age, they might have like a cane or a walker. So that was present in ancient Greek art. Um, the depiction of the bent stick in ancient Greek art, Emery says, reflected cultural beliefs and attitudes towards aging and elderly, and how old age was both respected and feared at the time, due to the decline of weakness or decline and weakness of the person as they got up there in age. But the bent body and stick were visual cues mostly, and that conveyed the sense of physical decline, vulnerability. But they also, like some of the other features, they could represent wisdom and experience that came with the advancing years. She also noticed that the use of the stick as a symbol of support and stability was closely tied to the cultural value placed on physical independence in ancient Greece, and the stick was often seen as a tool that could help older people maintain the dignity of their the dignity of like that physical independence. They didn't need anyone to like stand next to them to help them walk. So it was like they're standing up with dignity in the face of their physical decline that came with older age. Um, so yeah, those are four of the features that she said really depicted old age in archaic ancient Greek art. And the fifth one was other physical traits. And that's actually where my discussion question comes in. I was wondering if you guys had examples of other physical traits that were present in archaic ancient Greek art that also represented old age, along with all the four others that I have discussed. So yeah, that's my presentation. I thank you guys for watching.